HTC has a brand new device called the U11 that has some really unique features. No guys, I'm not talking about that shiny back color that they have, but I'm talking about the squeezy feature. I like to call it the squeezy phone, that's just how I call it. The U11 has this brand new grip fit feature on the bottom part of the device where you can actually squeeze and hold, and it gives you some extra functionality. And that's one of the big selling points of this device. Well, for me, it's a gimmick. And yeah, it is a gimmick. It's a gimmick that functions well, but it's one I don't think this device actually needs. Because the U11 has a lot of things that I like and that work out very well, and the squeeze functionality, or the edge sense as I like to call it, doesn't really do much for me. Yes, it works. Yes, it's great in situations where if you're wearing gloves, you want to take a photo, you want to activate certain things, it works out well. But I think it takes away from overall aspects of the device. We moved away from the era of gimmicks in smartphones, and we're in the era of refinement and functionality. And that's some of the things the U11 does well. So let's talk about the design and build. The U11 is designed as a more traditional smartphone. So it doesn't have the thin bezels or the thin edges like the LG G6 or the Galaxy S8. But as a device, it is still well built all the way through. You've got stereo speakers, which we'll talk about later on. You've got a solid camera at the back. You've got that very shiny back cover, of course, which is nice in terms of just manufactured feel, but aesthetically for a user, it can get a little annoying, especially when it's just so smudgy. You've also got a lovely QHD display, and of course, packed all the latest specs that you expect. 835 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigabytes of storage. All that fun stuff is in this device, plus some really good audio. So I'm gonna kick it off with things that I like right now. And I'm starting off with the audio. HTC has done a really good job in maintaining what they do well in audio. The U11 is a fantastic device when it comes to listening to audio, and it doesn't have a 3.5 headphone jack, which makes me sad. Yes, you guys know I love my headphones, but there's some things that they do well and some things maybe not so well. Using the inbuilt headphones from the U11, you've got the U-Sonic headphones that gives you noise cancellation. It does some level of noise cancellation, not to my own liking, but it's good enough when you're listening to music. Now, listening to music off this, you've got a nice built-in DAC, a well-powered amp in there that does a fantastic job. I mean, the listening experience, even from the headphones you get on the U11, are really good. Now, it also comes with a USB Type-C dongle, which means I can connect one of my headphones behind me into that and listen. And that also is a very clean and premium listening experience. I have to give them kudos for that. This is where I go, yes, HTC, you've done a fantastic job in providing an amp built in that is powered from the smartphone to give you a fantastic listening experience. That, I think, is something that a lot of companies need to work onto. Now, as I mentioned, it doesn't have a 3.5mm jack. I still don't know why, because you can still do all those things I mentioned on the 3.5mm jack. That's where I go, it's not necessary, or at least you can still have both and give consumers options. Now, when it comes to the speakers, you've got stereo speakers, you've got boom sound, and the speakers, of course, are solid. Now, they are loud, they're not overtly loud, but they are clear and crisp. You're talking about some really nice, good mids, and nice little bass coming out of this. So when you're listening to music directly from your phone, you get a really good feel of the audio. And I want you guys to listen to that right now. So the overall audio experience with the HTC U11 is fantastic, and this is something that HTC has excelled over the years, and they continue to do some really good work with that. Now, the U11 also boasts a really solid camera. It's rated one of the best cameras out there by DxOMark, and I had to put out to its own test. Now, taking stills with this camera really good. The camera does a very good job in auto and as well as a pro mode in taking some really nice pictures. And it does a good job there, especially nighttime with pro mode. A couple of the shots I took here really came out vivid, rich, sharp colors. I'm impressed with the camera and its photo taking capabilities. In video, that's where I found that the camera had a little bit more noise than I wanted to see. I'm not saying it's not bad, it's not terrible, it's just more than I wanted to see from the U11. It's still a very good camera and it lives close to the marks that they actually was given. I think the video quality in terms of stabilization is really good, but when it comes to some of the noise you get, especially in the slightly darker areas, becomes really prevalent. But overall, the camera quality from the U11 is fantastic. U11 also has lifestyle features. So right now, it is water and dust resistant. There's not wireless charging, but at least if you chuck it into a bowl of water like I have here, or falls down the toilet or something like that, your U11 is fine and you can use your device. That I think is a really good feature. Now this is running the latest version of Sense with Android 7.1.1. Very fluid, very fast. You can see its functionality there. I wish they did some updates to Sense and just change the overall look. That's just me personally. I've never been a big fan of the look, but I will not fault it for that because certain people like it. I just want to see its functionality continue to improve, and they've done a good job there. It's really fast, it's fluid. The feed area is also there. I wanted to call it BuzzFeed for a second there, but you have all those things that you expect from Sense, and of course you have the ability to use Google Assistant, and eventually Alexa when that comes in towards the end of the month here in June. I think the overall experience with the U11 is something that's interesting. The fact that the feature that the U11 is being pushed out with, which is the Edge Sense, or I like to call the squeezy feature, works well, works really well. You can go ahead and use it in a couple of settings. You can squeeze the device to actually open up the camera, and then of course take photos by squeezing constantly. You can do a long squeeze to open up an app or maybe Google Assistant. And you can customize that with the Edge screen. And there are a couple of things you can use it for. You also can customize the Edge screen settings, so you can customize your squeeze hold on it for those kind of capabilities. Still, even though it works well, there's really nothing wrong with it. I find it more distracting, and also it took away from the design of the device, especially in this day and age where we have more streamlined smartphones that have a bigger screen but also just a smaller footprint. The U11 would have probably benefited more from that than the Edge Sense itself, because to me it works, but it doesn't add to my experience. And I think that's the thing that that takes me away from that. But it still has a lot of other conveniences, like a fast fingerprint sensor, and again, overall performance that I think a lot of people like. HTC also did a good job in installing 64 gigabytes of storage here, moving the standard storage requirements higher, and of course you've got micro SD expansion as well. I think the U11 is a solid device from HTC. I think it's time for HTC to move away from the gimmicks, because they never needed it before. I don't know why they needed it this time, but I think this is a device a lot of HTC fans will like. It's got a solid camera, it's got some really good performance all around, it's got great audio. Even though it doesn't have a 3.5mm jack, the audio experience is fantastic with USB Type-C as well as also from the speakers. And you've got lifestyle features built into it. And I think the U11 has something that HTC can build on for devices as it moves forward. So guys, if you have any questions or any comments about the HTC U11, it's available in the US via Sprint, or you can get it unlocked through HTC or through our Amazon link down below. Again, if you want to support us, use that link. You can purchase your products and as well as the U11. And guys, don't forget to like and share this video. And when you do, hit the subscription button to subscribe to the channel, and also the notification icon to get notified with our latest videos. This is Thunder E saying thank you, and always enjoy your entertainment.